Hello everyone, this is Hack the Dino Gaming Cast, where we bring you the past, present, and future of video games, news, previews, and discussions. We have to be really, really quick in introducing anyone because Floppy has got a date. So I'm Ben Rosenthal. I'd say words with my mouth. This is Anto. Say a word, Anto.
Butts.
And there's Brayden. Also say a word, Brayden.
Howdy.
And there's Floppy. Floppy, you're going to get some.
How you doing?
Tonight we're talking about very many serious things, like renaming the show because I don't know.
Because you don't know what Hack the Dino means.
No, you don't. Even though I released the official story on episode 301. You should go back and listen to that. We've also been doing a lot of heaps good things, like what, Brayden?
We were at Avcon, which was a lovely time.
Correct.
And Floppy bought a bloody Mega Drive.
Bought a Mega Drive. We're going to talk about what games I might get.
Yep. And something else that he's going to get is some...
Don't say that.
Quiz on his face?
Hey!
Which is coming up later, correct? Now, Brayden.
Ben.
Anto.
Hello.
Floppy.
Yes.
Together, we are collectively the coolest kind of Voltron robot, in that we are Hack the Dino. We come together and form a big old dino. Floppy's the horn.
You forgot to finish that sentence. He meant to say bag up.
Anyway, long story short, Hack the Dino's been around for 8 years? Yeah, about 8 years.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know, right? Started out with Dan
half
and I.
of Braden's life.
Started out with Dan McGuinness and I coming together, forming a podcast to talk about video games. And at the time, we talked about comics as well. The first
Two
half was video
SingStar
games.
mics and a mug to go
Yeah,
in.
that's right. Our first setup was Dan and I sitting in Greenlight Comics with two SingStar mics held up by coffee mugs. And I recorded it and edited it and we put it up. A lot's changed in those 8 years. Dan is now a game producer.
Mm-hmm.
Brayden joined after 36 episodes, I think.
Think so?
So pretty much all of it, Brayden's been there. Brayden used to record it all and then go and edit it all manually.
Insanity.
And you did it for about 6 months.
Oh.
And Dan and I were just sitting there going, how long's it going to be before he stops?
This kid's going to get burnt out.
And then one time, episodes just didn't come up.
They just started
It's
taking
now.
longer.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
So that's where we started streaming. Then, of course, Floppy came on board. And then Dan left. And then...
Not because Floppy came on board.
No. And then Anto came on board. And since then, we've had people like Zach become a semi-regular, I think.
Yeah,
he's
series
sort
regular.
of our go-to. Whenever we need someone, he's always willing to jump in.
Yeah.
So we had a conversation after the live panel we did at AvCon. Floppy, unfortunately, couldn't be there. But Brayden, Anto, and I
Doing
were talking.
that parenting thing.
And one of my biggest regrets of, I guess, co-creating Hack the Dino is the name. At the time, I thought that name was really funny and cool and people would be interested in it. However, it doesn't mean anything. And I have been able to see the result of this throughout the years because our growth really hasn't
Grown.
yeah. Growth hasn't grown.
haven't seen results.
No, well, we've seen results.
We've
We've
seen
got
results.
a
We've got a
lovely community.
Wonderful community.
Love you guys so much in the Discord and who watch all our stuff, even those who aren't in the Discord and just watch the show or listen to the podcast. Those numbers are there, but those numbers, there's very little growth happening. They're always pretty much around the same
I think
target.
what you're trying to say, Ben, is that growth and things... people have come to the podcast through word of mouth, not because the name doesn't tell us what we do.
Yeah.
No, correct. There's no SEO. There's no search
SEO?
engine. Yeah, search engine optimizer. So if you see the name Hack the Dino, you go, what's that about? Now, I spoke to Michael Towns about it, who's just suggested calling it the Joe Rogan podcast. Not a bad idea.
What about the Roe Jogan podcast?
Oh, Roe Jogan. Oh, okay. So
Featuring Rianu Keeves.
spoke to Michael Towns about it. Michael Towns actually said that he's interested with those types of wacky names. He'll give something a go because it has a wacky name. But we've also all seen what Michael Towns buys for his collection in the Discord. So
We have,
Buys
yes.
wacky stuff.
wacky
I think
wacky
you're
stuff.
a niche market, mate.
Now, Ben, I will point out, and Phoenix has pointed this out as well, competitive market, if you will. Gaming podcasts are a pretty competitive market.
They are.
Can I just say, half of those don't tell me what it is.
Yeah. Well, this is an interesting part of the discussion that we're going to get to.
I do like filthy casuals.
But
That's
where
a great name.
there's a big discussion that we'll be having with all of these names here.
So I threw the idea out there to members of the illustrious Dinosaur. I like the way I said that like it wasn't a real word, but then I went, hang on, no, it is.
That's a real word.
Dinosaur
Dinosaurs.
is
They've
the
been
actual
around
word.
for a long, long time.
Or have they?
Yes. So what you're suggesting ultimately...
What I'm suggesting ultimately is let's have a look at not changing the setup, not changing what we do. Let's maybe look at letting go of Hack the Dino as the main name and maybe rebranding a little bit.
So you're saying Hack the Dino needs to go the way of the dino?
Yes, it needs to be turned into plastic and then molded into a dino. So
not
actual
change?
dinosaur. No, it will be, but it'll be a pale facsimile of what it once was.
Cast.
So we're putting it out there. No decisions have been made. We actually haven't even really talked about this much.
Or
but
at all.
We wanted to bring it up. Well, we had.
Oh, okay, you guys have.
We had a brief 5-minute discussion before we got in the car.
It's pretty brief.
But we were wondering, should we sort of look at renaming it? We'd still be, I think, Hack the Dino. We'd still keep that somewhere. But I'm talking about getting completely new YouTube channel, completely new Instagram, all that stuff, and going from scratch.
So would you keep Hack the Dino as a preface?
I'd keep Hack the Dino as sort of like a collective.
Yeah.
Hack the Dino as basically a company name.
Yeah. Without it being a company, because you
Three
don't make
men
money.
And
Baby.
rename the show.
Yeah. So I kind of
Something
did that
new.
when we started referring to it as the Gaming Cast. So you can see there on Braden's collage of other podcasts. For along, you can see Gaming Cast, which is what.
Oh,
Braden,
shit, that's us.
Yeah, Braden and I designed that
I had
together.
no idea that was. I didn't even pick that out.
You can see the Hack the Dino on the top left-hand corner, and then Gaming Cast is front and center. I still don't think Gaming Cast suggests enough of what we are.
I mean,
I tell you what, it suggests more than Bombcast.
I mean, look, a good
That's Giant Bomb.
a good 70% of what's on screen in that collage is a gaming reference. So, Filthy Casuals is a reference to, the divide between hardcore video game players and casual people who will play cozy games, and that's it. Frames per second, FPS, frames per second.
oh, I totally
Triple
didn't
jump.
get that. I was like, what the fuck is frames per
Triple
second?
jump, Mario's triple jump from 64.
My favorite
you
one
know?
there, honestly, is Game Scoop. Because it's like, scoop! And they're getting all the scoops. It's a news video game show.
And that makes sense if you're
Yeah.
doing news.
Yeah. Which we used to.
You know what? I think the best ones there is remember the game. It literally just tells you exactly what it's going to be about.
I don't know.
Frames per second, I think it's a shit podcast.
What
name.
Culture Gaming podcast is pretty
Which
self-explanatory.
one? Yeah, those ones. I think are the best ones.
So-
'Cause you know what they are.
So What Culture Gaming Podcast is very extremely the company What Culture trying to get the SEO top listed thing
'Cause that's
when
what
you
they do.
search gaming podcast.
That's their bread and butter.
Look
That
at
is
look at Kind of Funny's copying us. Gamescast.
yeah, definitely that way.
What the
now,
fuck?
Jeez, they'll be hearing from our lawyers.
I have a test for everyone here.
Okay.
Because I went through and I was like, I need to find a list of gaming podcasts. I'll scroll through the top 100 podcasts on Spotify.
And then add ours as well.
I want you to tell me which of these are in the top 100 on Spotify.
None of them.
Games
Kinda
Daily.
Funny.
Games
Daily.
Daily.
And Gamescast are both in there. I would say Triple Click is. I would say Sacred Symbols.
Now, we're in not gaming podcasts. We're just in normal podcasts.
On normal podcasts.
none of
I
them.
don't think any of them
None of them.
in that case.
There is one.
Oh, kind of funny.
Games Daily.
It's some
What's
shit
good?
I've never heard of before in my life.
Oh.
It's that FGTV.
Where?
I can't even see
FGTV.
that.
This one.
Oh, what is that?
It's some YouTube channel crap.
Oh, so they'd be influencers.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
That
the
makes sense.
only one in the top 100.
okay, so obviously it's a hard thing to crack. So we can keep going like we are, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm having fun. The guys are having fun. I think as long as we're having fun, that's when you keep doing it. And when you're not having fun anymore, that's when it's time to sort of look at your responsibilities and what
Go
you're
and
doing
whip
with
yourself
your
with a
time.
piece of reed.
Yeah, there you go. So it's just a thought. And I may have stuffed up the YouTube channel when we first started by doing unscrupulous things.
OnlyFans. Oh, sorry. What?
And sort of stuffed up the algorithm for us.
Ben
And I've
was, a
seen
bit,
it-
Ben was a bit hungry.
I thought getting a kickstart straight off the bat will help us grow. In actual fact, I think it got us sort of shadow banned.
flagged us as an account that was a bit dodgy.
Yep. It's
I mean, look, they're not wrong.
it is possible. It's just that since I've been doing Super Retro Squad, I didn't do any of that. I just put up the videos, and that's had really great growth. Again, it's not doing anything stellar, but certainly doing a lot better than any of our videos do. There's also a program called CapCut, which has a thing now that if you pay for the premium, it will get whatever video you edit, because that's the program I use to edit these down, and it will edit it so it will pan to who's talking for the phone.
I thought you did that yourself.
I did. And that's why they don't happen anymore, because it takes an effing long time. And I don't have all weekend to edit 2 hours of show and get these little clips out. So if I could find something like that automates all that, that's probably something as well. But my main idea behind this is getting a new channel, getting a new Instagram, having a little bit of a kickstart, not Kickstarter, because no one will give us money, apart from our lovely Patreons.
Apart from the people that already do.
Yeah, they're those wonderful people.
Which we thank you for.
Absolutely, we thank you. But sort of just letting Hack the Dino not disappear, but sort of not be at the forefront.
Hack the Dino is the organization name, if you will.
We're the group.
But the TLDR is we're going to have a chat about rebranding to see if we can push things further and grow a bit more.
Yeah.
Not that we're, unhappy with how things are. Like, again, we're all here for fun. Ultimately, that's the important thing.
Be all end all. If the name Hack the Dino goes away, it's not the biggest loss in the world.
No.
It's still going to be us.
It will still be us.
The Fast and Furious 7 cast, Townsy? Weird.
I had a point that I wanted to make. I can't remember what it is now. Don't know why I'm telling you about it. This could all be an inner monologue.
That could be, but then it'll just be a very quiet podcast.
Now, I do have...
The quiet podcast.
The quiet one.
An hour of dead silence.
I do... That's probably already a thing. I do have some questions for you guys here. Because when I look at this and I think of what podcasts I listen to, and I think about the context in which I found those podcasts, absolutely none of them are from search engine optimization or names. I know them because of personalities and businesses and where they came from. Yep. So when you look at it, I can track it very, very easily because I look and I'm like, okay, as a kid, I always went to IGN. What did IGN have? They had gaming podcasts. They had Game Scoop.
Beyond.
Podcast Beyond. And now they got Nintendo Voice Chat and probably others. I don't know.
Funny because Nintendo doesn't.
But then
was the gag.
From that, the personalities were the reason why I was there for Podcast Beyond and everything. I was an avid follower of that. Obviously, they then went off to go do Kind of Funny.
But this is my thing as well, bro.
Kind of Funny is not a good name.
I think it's an excellent name. What are you talking about?
It doesn't tell you what they do.
But it tells you that they're funny and they're self-flatulating.
So this is then my thing. I don't think a name is the main end breaking point.
I'll disagree slightly there. Because from what I've done with my research and looking at analytics and whatnot, comparing it, because believe it or not, I spend a lot of time looking at analytics and structures. No. Yeah, I know, right? So for me, yes, 100% it's the personalities. That's why I think we gel well together. We've got Anto, who has a huge technical knowledge of gaming. We've got Braden, who plays a lot of games that the rest of us don't necessarily get onto. We've got Floppy, who, without saying he's in the industry, he's actually in the industry and gets a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff and gets a wide scope of games coming out and is very knowledgeable about upcoming things.
It's
and
true,
then
I made Final Fantasy
and
7.
someone's got to play the bad games.
Yeah, and someone is just got to...
I will play the bad games.
Take up all the airtime because they have an inferiority complex
I was
and
also just
desperately trying to beg people to like them.
Just going to throw in as well, like Floppy, I think probably more so than me, maybe Braden, I think you play a wider variety of games than we do.
Big time.
I do try not to...
I have a very specific niche that I'll touch, which is like JRPGs and like sort of, Souls-like and a very specific sort of subsect of retro games or like classic platformers like Sonic and Mega Man and stuff. But you will touch a broader range of new stuff than I do.
I will touch broads... I mean...
Freudian slip! Freudian slip! Freudian slip!
I'm here all week. No, I do like to... and due to my work, I try to sort of keep a broad knowledge of what's going on.
Whereas I just like entertaining. That's my main thing. I love games. I love talking about games. I love collecting games, as we know. And I love entertaining, and I just want to entertain... We'll get what we do out to more people because I think that we have a really good product here, and I don't think we have that initial hook to get people to give us a go. Like as Braden was saying, all of the games that they've gaming podcasts they've come across because of their personality. Well, they've been led there through other means, and then the personalities have kept them there.
I will say as well, like with Kinda Funny specifically, every single time one of the three of you has tried to refer or like recommend it to me, you've always said a combination of the words gaming podcast who are kind of funny. So it really does sort of kind of tell you what they do straight
Correct.
off the bat.
Correct.
That's my experience, because like the rest of them I've not heard of.
So what do you think, Floppy? Because I've obviously
I'm
us
down.
three talk about it, but what are your thoughts on it?
I would be getting. I can't words. Lucky I don't
Podcast
or some shit. Jesus. Have we got one about that says that we don't speak properly?
Yes,
No.
it's good to
I'd be
blur
down
that
for getting a name that is a little more descriptive as to what we do, so that people that run across it possibly could read the name and then be like, "Oh, I might check that out," and not only rely on word of mouth.
That initial hook. I mean, obviously, we need to go back and do more TikTok and that sort of stuff, which again I'll look at doing. Just if I can make it a little bit less of a time sink, that'd be the better way to go about it. Streaming again might be something we can look at doing.
I'm against it, but ChatGPT is great at editing videos.
What was that?
Nothing at all.
I missed that.
Like I do
Oh, I
understand.
legit missed that.
No,
There are tools that exist that will do it for you now, but moral grey areas exist with them, in my personal opinions.
Oh, what are we talking
Phoenix
about?
in the chat
AI.
has pointed out exactly it. They see nothing to lose with trying something new. Everyone is going to follow us anyway.
because you're freaking awesome.
Because
Love
we've
you
got
all.
this tight-knit, good community that are supportive and cool and great and...
How many more affirming words can you pop
Let
in
me
there?
can I just highlight, like, I understand people have stuff on. I understand Avcom was expensive to get to if you weren't given a free
Hack the
ticket.
Dino.
Hack the Dino Light.
Crystal Dino.
Just want to have a big shout out
Dino
to
Remastered.
We Are Robots, Afronix, and Michael Towns, who came out and saw us at the panel.
Yeah, well done.
and
I didn't even go.
I think this exemplifies...
I also recognized a couple of Greenlight Comics customers as well.
There you go. No, I just think this exemplifies sort of what we've got going here. In that the panel started, and I looked up. I was at a podium. Yes, I was on a podium. It was great.
Ben specifically said he was going to use the podium.
Everyone else had to sit on the floor. Ben on a podium.
So I looked up. Front row and center was Michael Towns, Afronix, and We Are Robots. No one else. And I was looking around and went, well, here we go. It's going to be a very private show. The show went for an hour. I reckon 15, 20 minutes in, we had 25 to 30
It
people
was
sitting in
25
those
to
seats.
30 easily.
I like how every time you tell me it's 5 more people.
Yeah, it keeps getting up a little bit more there, Ben.
I've
You
always
shut
said-
the fuck up!
I would say around 20.
All right, around 20. But still, a crowd built.
And
people,
completely randoms
Yep.
who were also getting involved in the
they
conversation.
didn't at the start. Everyone sort of sat on their hands. And then towards, it kept going.
I feel
Weird
like
how they talk
one
through their
person
hands.
chimed in, got a laugh, and then everyone felt that they could kind of get a little bit more comfortable. We were getting pretty silly with it at that point too.
Even the guys, like someone suggested the PlayStation 3 and 2 people got up to obviously go somewhere. And I just went, oh, look, that made people leave. And everyone laughed at the people and made them feel awkward because that's what I do. Yeah. Actually, maybe this isn't a good podcast. Again, point is, I think a fresh coat of paint, giving it something with a better
a
SEO.
name with a bit of a hook.
Costumes,
I mean, look, we could do costumes.
spandex.
Oh, God, no.
I'm not doing
Chafes.
spandex. I'm far too large.
Chafes way too much.
Don't be like that, man. Anyone can wear
it's
spandex.
not negative. Just I would feel weird.
So I think, if you want to let us know in the Discord over at hackthedino.com, if you're not there already, you can join for free. Come in, have a chat to us about it. We will take any kind of thought or decision. We are very, very open to the community we have. You're the most important part of this because we really wouldn't be doing this without each and every one of you, and we thank you very, very much. We're not calling it the Floppy Show.
Do it.
What about FDD? Floppy's disk drive. Nah.
Ooh, Floppy's dick drop. What?
Flop this dick.
That is just gonna get. Look, that'll get you a few clicks.
Ultimately, if
No,
you
they're
have
getting a flea
ideas
click.
or suggestions, by all means, flick them our way. We're not going to outright steal them because we're not like that. I mean, maybe Ben is, but
Just outed. as a
We're
thief.
gonna talk
Wow.
about it obviously between the four of us, and we'll get Zach and possibly Angie's opinion as well. See what the sort of general vibe
Keep
is.
your eye on the Discord.
But yeah, like we'll chuck any sort of further developments in the Discord, and
Ben actually made a great point to me earlier. Even if we do start something new with a new name, new channel, new everything like that, Ben suggested that we actually still upload the new show to the Hack the Dino feed so that if anyone just comes back to it after a while, they don't suddenly go, oh, where is everything?
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
an easy way for you to find the new
It'll
thing.
just be me renaming the pre-existing feeds. I'm talking more about the YouTube channel. That
Yeah.
we'll just put the VOD straight up to the YouTube channel without any editing.
Yeah.
But that'll probably be sort of 2 weeks at a time, and it'll be after it's released elsewhere.
There's a lot of behind the scenes
Where are we
discussion
releasing
going
them
on.
instead of YouTube?
So they're on podcast apps.
A
The
Frederick's shouting
video,
out,
though.
great idea, Braden. Thanks. That was Ben's idea.
Sure. Getting ripped
take
on
the
by
credit,
him.
Braden. It's fine.
I'll take it.
I didn't
Maybe
do
I
shit.
need to leave. Maybe that's what's holding it back. Maybe it's been 8 years of no growth. I need to bugger off and let these guys do it.
Look, I wasn't going to say it.
But fingers crossed.
I can't be writing all that stuff.
Oh, neither can I. You've noticed the decline in quality. Floppy, what do you
Yes.
want to talk about?
Oh, I totally forgot I had a whole other section that we'd written. So we are going to talk about something a little less serious, because that was obviously a little bit of a serious
super
personal
serious.
note.
Super.
I recently, thanks to the guy sitting next to me, became the proud owner of a Mega Drive 2. The one right there in front of us, actually.
Why would one
And I've never owned a Mega Drive or a Sega console before the Dreamcast. I've never owned a Master System. I've never owned a Mega Drive. So this is all new grounds for me. And I've called upon Anto, Ben, and Braden to maybe help me whittle down a list of games that I have put together that looked interesting. Should I get them or should I not?
Good idea.
So yes, I've never owned a Mega Drive. I'm now contemplating: do I need a Sega CD? Do I need a 32X? I
do you
don't
need
know.
money? Do you need money?
But I think we've already established over the last 5 or 6 years that I hate having money. Apparently,
Well, let me
Pretty
introduce
sure
you to
there's still a
32X.
C32X.
A boxed
in,
32X in Greenlight. Yep.
Yeah.
yeah. How much is that?
Trying to convince Sosty to not sell it for $1,200 and give it to me
Hey,
for like 8.
all I can say would help me make budget that day.
Yeah, it's about $1,200.
Yeah, I won't be getting one of them.
No.
Which is weird because like in 2010 you could get one for like $20 at a garage sale.
Well, damn it. I guess I'm 14 years too late.
If only I could invest in the stock
Yes.
market in Apple.
Yeah,
right.
If I could Forrest Gump the shit out of it. So anyway, I've put together
If
a list.
only I could go to George Lucas and tell him about this idea I've had about a film called
Space
THX
Battles.
1138.
His first film, THX 1138. Had Robert Duvall. It was cool. I've got the book. Who?
Tron
All right.
was- Tron was
Fuck
better.
Mega Drive. How do you not know who Robert Duvall is?
No, come on. Back onto...
Okay, sorry. All right, so I've got a list of 12 games here. Now, I will say, I went through a list, many lists of do's and don'ts and other people's sort of top picks or watch out for games, and I literally didn't read their reviews. I just picked games that I either like the look of or that I have heard of, and I'm going to put them forward to the peeps here and to you guys at home and see should I or should I not pick up these games. Or any of these games. So, number one on the list, and now this is not in any kind of popularity order or anything. Ghouls and Ghosts.
No, too hard.
So, it came out from Capcom in 1989.
Who's that ghoul?
Apparently won Game of the Year in Electronic Gaming Monthly that year, though. So, now, I'm assuming this is comes on from, was it, what was the first one?
Ghost and Goblins.
Ghosts and Goblins.
Yep. This is a Capcom classic.
Right, and it's a side-scrolling platformer. Is it really that fucking hard?
Yes.
Is it something that I should own if I have a Mega Drive, though?
No.
I wouldn't say it's like a must-have for the system, but if you limit yourself to must-haves, you will just get confused and not buy any games.
Because it looks cool.
It is a very cool game. Obviously, it's got a reputation as being very difficult. I guess I'm just going to go in on
Are we
the
talking
big twist.
Battletoads difficult, though?
Yes, yeah, like that kind of
okay.
hard. Because the enemies aren't sort of set in any kind of knowable attack pattern or spawning pattern. They just sort of appear and do their own thing, and it's always different. You can start this game 12 times and you'll have a different run every time. The weapon drops are random, and some weapons are absolutely worse than others. Like, there's not really an ideal situation for most of them.
Okay, I hear all that, but the animation for his jumping is heaps funny.
It is, and it's a double jump, which is great. But you can also only take 2 hits.
Okay, so all right, so that does sound ridiculously hard, and I would probably never finish it. What would it cost me? Is it something that's cheap, and I should probably just get it because it's
So
cheap
you can
anyway?
get, just looking at the sold sales here, you're looking at around $70 to $90 for a boxed version.
Okay.
Cart only, you're looking at around...
Card only, I would say you're looking at about 30, 40.
Yeah, 30 to $40.
So all right. So I'd probably sit with this on a maybe if I see it as a good deal.
Yeah, I
See,
mean,
if I see it cheap,
honestly, Floppy, you'll play this a handful of times and then not touch
Yeah.
it again because it's not fun. It's
so if
the-
I see it for like 20
It's
bucks,
fun.
if you see it for $20, absolutely grab it. Pick
If
it
you
up.
see it for 20, I'll buy it off you for 30.
You don't get to play it.
That's a deal.
Yeah, like, so the biggest thing that most people get turned off with this one is obviously the difficulty, but to finish the game, you have to finish it twice.
Yep.
oh, okay, it's
Like,
one of those.
it's one of those games where you
Whoa,
get to the
look at
final
that dude.
boss, and then it's like, haha, surprise, you've actually not done all of the game, you're halfway.
Oh, I just played something like that. Oh, yeah, that's Mario versus Donkey Kong. All right, cool. Second game on the list is Fantasia from Infogrames. That I had to read that like 5 times in 1991. So this is a 2D platformer where you play as Mickey.
Should be the
based
new name of the podcast.
Fantasia.
No.
Infogrames.
Infogrames.
I don't know if that's going to get past the whole not knowing what we're about thing. But this is obviously, I'm a sucker for movie tie-ins. This is a tie-in for Fantasia, which was really cool.
Well, all of Fantasia or just the Sorcerer's Apprentice?
Well, I liked all of Fantasia, but Sorcerer's Apprentice in particular.
Night on what mountain? Which mountain?
Which mountain?
Still scares the absolute shit out of me.
It
to this
should.
day.
Joan of
It's
Arc.
terrifying.
Yeah.
The big black
Yep.
demon thing, yeah.
And there's like naked ladies in that. It's a Disney cartoon. There's naked ghost people.
Oh, don't ever worry. Don't ever watch the Rescuers then. But yeah, so I like a good movie tie-in, especially like a Disney sort of animated thing. I'm getting like Aladdin vibes and stuff like that, Lion King sort of thing. Is this something that you guys have had some experience with? Should I get it?
Not played it.
I played it as a kid. It is a good platformer. It's not the best. If you were going to get any Mickey Mouse based platformer on the Mega Drive, can you bring us up on full screen, Brayden?
Yep.
If you were going to get any, it's behind here. You should get Castle of Illusion.
Oh shit!
It's
I didn't even
not
see
tied
that.
into any animation or movie that I know of. It's an original platformer, but it has a lot of throwbacks to Mickey's history. So you've got like Steamboat Willie style levels at the beginning.
Maybe I'll just take that one.
It's just really, really good. Fantasia as a game, I would say, is maybe like a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Castle of Illusion is an easy 9.
Okay. All right. Cool. So I'm at a maybe if I see it cheap. And
Well, it's not that expensive.
Fantasia.
Fantasia's not that expensive, actually. So you're probably looking around your $20, $30 mark for just a cart.
Okay. So what about Castle of Illusion?
Castle of
About
Illusion?
Sort of 40, 50-ish.
Oh, you know what? I'd probably do both of
Well, I
those.
mean, just there's one for sale right now, $40 plus $10.95 postage.
All right, cool. I'd probably do both of those. All right, number 3, I know what Anna's going to say because he suggested we play it for Game Club.
Did I?
I think you did. Was Shinobi?
No.
So this is Revenge of Shinobi.
Oh, I
Just
thought
this
this was the
bad boy
third one.
here.
Is this not the third one?
No,
This
that was
is 2.
Revenge of the Shinobi.
Shinobi 3, Return of a Ninja Master.
That's
is the
right.
third
Sorry,
one.
my mistake. Yep.
My bad.
So this one is pretty much what's the word? Most people who like the Shinobi series are either constantly arguing that this is the best one in the series or the third one is the best in the series.
And
Like,
which one
these are
did we
very
play for-
highly regarded.
Which one did we play for Game
We
Club?
played the third one.
Right. I did really enjoy that.
So did I.
The major difference between this and the third one is 3 is a bit faster paced. This is where the double jump and the shuriken, I guess, what you call it,
Mechanic?
spread attack came from.
Okay.
But your movement is much more limited in this, in the sense that you can only walk and crouch. You don't have like a walking block. It's a little bit less dynamic gameplay wise, in my opinion. But level design wise, it's really cool. If you get an early release of it, you also have to deal with Batman and Spider-Man.
Whoa! I want that.
So yeah, it's a fantastic game. Just
So is that this one?
yeah.
How do we know if it's an early release?
I think the serial number on the back of the cart is slightly different.
So is this like a pricey game as well?
No, you're looking
No.
at $40 to $70.
I'm assuming it's because it was probably really well sold.
Yeah.
So like it was really common.
This one got released quite a lot on the multi-game sort of cartridges that Sega started releasing with later releases of the Mega Drive. So that sort of brought its value down a little bit. But if you can find the cartridge or the release that has the Marvel and DC tie-in characters that they weren't allowed to use, that version of the game will be slightly more expensive.
Right. Well, that's really cool. Okay, that's.
I actually want to look up how to tell.
I'm quite down for a Shinobi game. I think I need to own that.
Just as
What
an
would be your
aside,
pick, number 3 or this?
Number 3 is my favorite one, just because the pace of the third one is a lot higher. Like, you move a lot quicker. All of the levels are slightly more kinetic and dynamic. You might have gotten to the level in question, but this level, where you're surfing on like a robo surfboard and fighting robot stuff,
That's amazing.
this has got quite possibly, and this is including Sonic soundtracks, this level theme is quite possibly my favorite 16-bit tune ever made.
So
It is
I
so good.
will not even hear it.
No, I'm going to make you listen to it when we're done. It's
Wow, that sounds like a great way to get me to like it.
it's fantastic. And like,
Force.
the parallax scrolling in the background, like all the different layers of movement, it's
Yeah.
visually, like the series in general is wonderful. I can't speak highly enough about it.
All right. 4th game on the list is one that I knew because I played it in arcades, which is Altered Beast. So it came out Sega in 1988, packaged with the Mega Drive, so I'm assuming it's everywhere. Use power-ups to become a wolf, dragon, bear, tiger, or a gold wolf. Now, did I hear you guys say no?
I played this recently. In fact, when I was testing...
Why does it look so... It looks like way more detailed.
When I was testing your Mega Drive 2 to make sure it worked before I let you know you could have it, I had a cart of Alter Beast that I needed to test. So I put it in. This game... So it doesn't look like this, what we're seeing on the screen. This is obviously a ROM that has been cleaned up nicely. Big sprites, yep. It is so slow and so boring.
Oh, really?
It's really not a fun game, in my opinion. But I didn't play it as a kid. I don't have nostalgia attached. I'm purely playing it from my modern understanding of retro classics. This never, besides you transform, as Michael Town says in the live chat, this game's awesome for like 10 minutes and then every 2 years.
I was just about to say something very similar. Like this is great to play through like once every now and again, but it's not the sort of game that you can play long term.
No.
It's the reason it's not sort of favorably looked on anymore is because it was a very early Mega Drive game. It was an arcade port. So in that sense, it's quite important because it was like Sega going, hey, look what we can do. This is arcade level quality in the home, which was like the first time we'd seen that before the Super Nintendo and other 16-bit consoles started coming out.
That's so strange because like everyone who's not a massive Mega Drive fan, I feel like knows this game and ties it in with the Mega Drive.
Yeah, because there's nostalgia attached. You were playing as a kid and you saw this transformation. You go, holy crap.
Yeah, I remember the trans. I remember the box art.
Well, I mean, there's shirts of
advert.
it. Like, we can see this shirt right here I've got in front of me. So you can get a complete box copy of this from anywhere from $5 to $15.
Really?
Plus postage.
Super common.
You know what? I'd probably get that just to have Altered Beast because it's such a Mega Drive
On the
game.
shelf? Yeah.
Yeah, just to have it on the shelf.
It is rather
For like
synonymous.
$5.
And it's got a two-player mode, so it's good fun.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, so I probably would do that, even though it's not a great game.
Yeah.
But because it's cheap and achievable, and it's kind of iconic. Next one I just saw the cover for, and I thought it looked sick.
This is a
It was
great
called
game.
Rise of the Robots from Mirage in 1994.
I take that.
So a fighting game with single and two-player mode. Apparently unprecedented AI. Apparently.
So we're not doing Golden Axe?
Did I miss one?
You missed
Rise of
Golden
the
Axe.
Robots is number 6.
Oh,
5 is
sorry.
Golden Axe.
Well, we'll go back to number that one. Oh no, we're doing Golden Axe. All right, so Golden Axe from Sega in 1989. You play as a dwarf, a barbarian, or as an Amazonian. I also played this in the fish and chip shop a lot when I was a kid on an arcade machine. So I loved this, but I never played it at a home console. I only ever played it 20 cents at a time.
Yeah, I'm the same. Anto?
I played this as a kid all the time. This was one of the few games we had in the first sort of year or two of having a Mega Drive. My older brother is older sibling. Do apologize if he's there watching. They're big into high fantasy, Dungeons and Dragons. They go to Demonic Chronicles, which is like a LARP sort of festival where you go and camp out in proper tents and roast your animals and drink mead and all that sort of stuff. They're big into fantasy role playing and stuff.
Get scurvy.
So this was right up their alley as a 3 years older than me, so I don't know,
Old.
10-year-old
Older.
person. Super fun in multiplayer. You can hurt each other, which is always hilarious.
Oh, love that.
It's again, it's like Altered Beast in the sense that it was an early arcade port just to sort of show off what the system could do. Fun to play through with another person once every couple of years, maybe, but not the sort of thing you can play repeatedly.
There was 3 of them, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think there were more actually. I think there was one that released on the Sega channel, which was a US and Japan only cable internet game
there
download service.
Is also a reboot coming soon.
How much is this one?
So you're looking anywhere from $30 to $50 delivered complete.
Yep, I'd do that. All right, so the one that I did accidentally skip to, Rise of the Robots. This cover looks sick.
It's an awful game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a real bad game.
famously bad.
Real bad game.
Like so bad it's good.
No.
Look at that. He looks like It looks like one of
So
the.
this
like
was
a cross between
multi-platform?
RoboCop and
This
stuff.
was also on the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Look at that. It looks wicked.
barely moves. You barely have frames. Like, is that bad?
Oh, that's a shame.
It was more of a tech demo than anything, I think, and it just got released because they'd sunk so much money into it and needed to get something back.
There you go. You got a copy for $15 plus
I mean, look,
$10 postage.
it looks phenomenal
cool.
for a 16-bit game. It's nuts that they got these systems to look like this or be able to run stuff like this. But yeah,
I think it's one of these games where you can crouch and kick. And this is, again, an emulation. It does not run this smooth.
no.
I was going to say, look at that. It's just like Street Fighter.
No. You literally, if you duck and do little jab kicks, the
Yeah.
enemy will just keep walking into your kick. So you can
So it's
cheese
easy.
the whole game.
Well, this sounds like my kind of game. All right, cool. Next one on. I'm pretty sure Anto knows. This is a turn-based RPG from 1993, Phantasy Star 4.
I'm not going to be able to sort of rant about it the same way I do Final Fantasy because I'm not super duper familiar with them. I've only ever played Phantasy Star 4 once, and it was through emulation about 16 years ago because finding this is quite difficult.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those games that realistically, I think last time I checked, it was like a $300 to $400 game. It's really strange as well because Phantasy Star, the series, has gone through a phase of having turn-based RPG, traditional stuff, and it turned itself into an MMO. It had like a Monster Hunter style sort of reboot happened on the PSP years ago. It's super impressive visually what they were managing to do. Like all of the monsters that you run into, you don't see your characters on screen fully like you would in Final Fantasy or another series. All of the monsters have like actual animations and stuff that will happen throughout combat. I'm not as familiar with it as I should be. But
Can I just say,
very fun.
I saw a picture of it on of the cartridge on Ben's screen because he was looking at prices. I already have this game.
Really?
Yeah, someone gave it to me.
Holy
It's a
shit!
$90 card.
Friend gave it to me.
Wow.
Madness.
So I'm like, I recognize that picture. I've got that. It's on my
there you
shelf
go.
somewhere.
There you go.
But I didn't care too much about it because I didn't have a Mega Drive.
Well, now you do.
All right, number 8 on the list is another tie-in because I like tie-ins. Tiny Toon Adventures. This was from Konami in '93. Buster has to rescue Babs because, of course, from some dude named Gene Splicer.
Wow.
I love that. But look at that, it's Mario with the Tiny Toons.
Again, I've never
Buster
played it. You've got some recent sale prices, $19 free postage.
Cool.
If you just want the cart or complete, $26 plus
You know what?
postage.
For like an extra $5, I just get the fucking $7. I just get the boxed one.
Well, technically it's 15 because you're paying postage on that one,
Oh.
whereas you're not for the cart.
Yeah. But yeah, so that seems quite achievable, and I do like my tie-in platformers.
All right.
So that looks cool. All right, next one. Castlevania Bloodlines from Konami in 1994. Anto, should I buy it?
Yes, you absolutely should if you've got $300 to spare.
All right, Anto, should you buy it for me?
If I had $300 to spare, no.
I really thought you were going to say yes, and I'm like, whoa!
I mean, if I had $300
Tax
to spare,
time.
I would buy it for you. But
There's
this
many things that you should buy first.
is
Wow,
an
okay.
interesting one because this doesn't follow the story of the Belmonts. You're playing as Eric Lecard and I believe it's Trevor Morris.
Morris.
So in canon, they're just
Bob.
able to use the power of the Vampire Killer, which is the whip that historically the Belmonts have used to defeat Dracula.
Did this get a power release?
Yes, it did. I've got it there.
Oh, okay. I'll shut the hell up.
They're the one you pointed at before.
This
Yeah.
was known as Castlevania Bloodlines in the US and Japan. Was called the New Generation here.
Okay.
Like Pepsi.
This came out shortly after, I believe, Super Castlevania 4 on Super Nintendo. It really depends on sort of what platform is your preference as to whether or not you'll like this more than Super Castlevania
Look,
4.
Anto?
I think we've already decided it's not going to be something that hits my shelf because Ben's looking at how much it is, and there's
It's-
one there for $482.
Plus
Exactly.
12 postage. So you're looking at it's a $500
It's about a $500
game.
game now.
Yeah, so that won't happen. But that sounds like a cool game. All right, number 11. I had to have a Sonic game on here.
And you picked the worst. No, I'm kidding.
Did I?
No.
More other people had Sonic 2 than any other Sonic game on their list, so I chose Sonic 2. I don't know the difference in between. I'm more than happy to pick a different Sonic game. I chose this one because it seemed like the popular opinion.
You cannot go wrong with Sonic 2. I think if you were to choose either of the three that are... Well, I say three. There's technically 4 physical releases. But if you were going to pick any of them over another, this is the least offensive one. Sonic 1, groundbreaking in its design and its physics engine and the way it plays. It brought physics and momentum and speed into video games that sort of wasn't possible prior to it being released, because Yuji Naka, even though he's a bit of a criminal now, genius level programmer, like so good at his craft.
This one seems to be one that I recognize more than others, I think.
This is what really sort of rocketed Sonic the Hedgehog as a character into the mainstream, because it was so massive that it was considered just better in every way than Sonic 1.
And also super common. Like, for example, I have
pack-in-
3 copies
yeah.
of this in the garage.
Can you just buy that now and I'll pay you?
No, because that's already sold.
This is
damn
super prevalent in just... I think I've got a spare copy at home. Like,
I'll buy it off you.
yeah.
That last one sold for $5. I'll give
But
you
yeah,
10.
this one, Sonic 2 as a thing, again, super popular, introduced Tails as a character, gave you 2-player split screen, introduced Super Sonic as a concept. So,
Excellent.
It's just...
All right.
By far and away, better than Sonic 1.
Look.
My personal favorite is Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
I will probably end up with more than one Sonic game, but that looks one that's quite nostalgic to. I say nostalgic. I probably shouldn't. Familiar. That one
Yes.
looks more familiar to me. So, all right, cool. Sonic 2, and it seems really, really achievable, especially if you've got a spare one. Cool. All right, my last game, and I actually don't care what you all think. I'm going to buy it anyway.
Oh, I've got this. It's brilliant.
Is Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. Sega, 1990, beat 'em up based on the Smooth Criminal section of the film that he released called Moonwalker. Bubbles appears in every level.
Yep.
Bubbles being his pet chimp.
Super affordable.
Super affordable.
25 to $40.
I
Master System version.
will need this.
I mean,
the
200.
Mega Drive
Whoa! All right, I take that back.
wow.
The Mega Drive version is $215.
What was the other version?
The Master System
Master
edition,
System.
which
Maybe,
is
maybe I'll get it on that.
a lot less
Oh,
playable.
damn, I want this on Mega Drive. I need this.
So-
I'll have this at some point.
I played this so much when I was younger. Wasn't super into Michael Jackson when I was younger because I didn't
was.
really listen
Damn.
to music at the time, and I didn't know who he was because I was a child.
Then you should know who he was.
But funnily enough, the overarching plot of this game is that you are Michael Jackson rescuing children from a guy called Mr. Big.
Yep.
Michael Jackson.
The coolest thing about the game is it features a whole bunch of his songs from Thriller and a bunch of other albums. They all play throughout the levels. You can do his dance moves, which are basically super moves that control enemies and then kill them. It's a really crazy example of taking an icon that isn't really associated with video games and making them a video game icon.
So Michael Jackson asked to have this made.
Yeah, he loved Sonic so much. He went
yeah.
to Sega and was like, I want to be
Also,
part of this.
the movie that he made is based. He's got Joe Pesci as the bad guy, a drug dealer,
Mm-hmm.
and who kidnaps one of his friends, and then Michael Jackson's got to spend the movie, which is like I don't think it's longer than an hour.
It's not huge.
It's
no.
not a huge movie. Getting them back, but at one point there's a section in the middle which is the film clip for Smooth Criminal, which is this scene that we all know, his iconic white suit. Where it's the first time he did the lean shoes.
Yeah.
But he did it not with shoes in the film clip; it was with wires and stuff. But then it prompted him to create that illusion.
So there's a copy on eBay now for $65. Just the cart.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, but yeah, I will be owning this. This is downright going to be on my collection.
This was just a really good example of a sound chip in the Mega Drive being put to good use
And
as
that
well.
sound chip is spectacular. I was saying this to Anto at the weekend, like testing it on my CRT with surround sound, the Trinitron.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Surround
that's-
sound.
Well, not surround sound, but
With your booster. or
my
whatever it's
booster and
called.
whatnot.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like I played Donkey Kong Country a couple of months back on it, and was amazed that there were instruments in there that I had never heard before.
Yeah.
The Sega sound chip or whatever it was, Anto, like it sounded
Yamaha
fantastic.
X something.
So
can't
I
remember the
reckon there's
specifics.
at least, out of those 12 games, there's at least 6 to 8 that I will happily get relatively quickly.
And I could rattle off another 6 to 8 easily.
And a
That's it.
sequel.
That is
But for now, we're going to rattle off Quiz on Your Face.
My journey into the Mega Drive. All right, quiz on your face. All
right, let's do it.
My glasses, damn it.
We're running over time.
Okay,
so-
here we go. Number 1. How many Mario Party games have been released so far? A, 2, B, 18, C, 19, or D, 20?
Floppy,
That's Floppy.
19.
Correct.
I saw the answer, so I didn't go for it specifically.
You're right. You with us, Braden?
Yeah. I was just shocked Floppy got that so quick.
I literally had a conversation about Mario Party the other day because of the new one coming out.
Fair enough.
This one's come from Dylan the Villain.
Dylan the
Which
Villain.
Mario Party mini game infamously caused hand injuries when ended up with a class action suit against Nintendo in the year 2000?
You say which mini game?
Which mini game? Was it A, Bumper Balls, B, Tug of War, C, Bowl Over, or D, Desert Dash?
Anto,
Yes, Anto.
Tug of War.
Correct. It was
It was
Tug
on
of
the
War.
64, wasn't it?
I only know this because the Game Grumps are playing Mario Party 1 right now.
Oh, okay.
And
So it's
also-
hyper relevant to you right now.
So basically, you had to go like that, and it like
You
created.
spend
Isn't
your
this the
palm.
reason that everyone's stick snapped?
Yeah.
Correct. It's one of the main reasons you can't get a decent
Nintendo used to send
Nintendo
out
thing.
Mario gloves to help
I
you be
want-
able to play it.
I want one of those gloves so bad.
So that's also the type of thing where there was certain moves in the Dragon Ball Z Budokai games where you'd like go to charge up a move, and to do it most powerfully you had to rotate the sticks.
Yeah.
And I remember being a kid playing, doing the combo, and then immediately dropping it.
I don't know. I've gotten really good in my adult years at doing this.
Good for you.
I reckon I can nail it.
Yeah.
What about the move?
Yeah.
From Michael Towns, which of these video game sequels was not initially banned in Australia? Not initially banned in Australia.
But it is now.
A, Postal 2. B, Hotline Miami 2. C, Manhunt 2. Or Crash Bandicoot 2.
Anto,
Yes, Anto?
Manhunt.
Yes,
Manhunt
correct.
2 specifically. There we
Yes, there you go. Correct. Do you know the reason why?
go. I don't, but I remember reading an article in the UK being like, hey, Australia just banned a video game. And it's like, why?
So, Manhunt 2, Rockstar didn't bother to submit it for classification due to expecting it to be refused. There's also a theory that along with the lack of effort and the game's so-so quality being due to it only starting development to keep heat away from Grand Theft Auto 4, which was releasing 6 months later.
Wow.
Well, didn't Australia only get like a mature rating like in 2015 or
Oh,
something?
who knows? We're full of
The classifications
twats.
board got massively overhauled shortly after I moved here, I think.
All right, Anto is catching up.
Speaking of moving here, September will be 10 years since I moved here.
Wow.
Whoa, sorry for your loss.
Okay, here we go. Last question. We ready? What animal was used for the seagull sounds in The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker? Were they A, seagulls, B, penguins, C, horses, or D, elephants?
Anto,
Anto?
elephants.
Yes? Correct.
Wow.
Did
For
you
a
know
Question
that?
seagull?
before.
Have I?
Yes.
That's like 3 or 4 months old.
God damn it.
No, it was longer than that.
Nah, it's super
Nah,
recent.
it was last year.
Or was it of a live show?
I don't know.
I feel like it's quite recent. But yeah, you've asked that question before.
See, I was running out of time because I was super busy this past fortnight, and I just went through my phone and went, all right, where's my... Because whenever I'm watching YouTube videos on gaming and a fact comes up, I go, oh, and I type it down quickly and then work that into a question.
Okay.
I can't ever stop creating content. That's my curse. So at the end of that round, we have Jazz on 1, Angie on 3, Zach on 4, Braden on 8, and Braden didn't even get a sniff.
Yeah, I didn't get a hand on the ball today. Jeez.
Tug of war.
Oh, yeah, I need a desk in front of you. You can get a hand on any balls.
Anto on 10 and Floppy on 14.
Catching up,
Whee!
Anto.
You're still ahead though, and we've got 6 months left of the year.
But how many shows are you going to be here for?
That's a good question, hey.
We are plugging things. Floppy, what do you like to feel like plugging?
I should probably keep it clean and go with Instagram. So if you head over to Floppy Plays Games, you can see what I occasionally post about things that I've bought, purchased, acquired, things that I possibly may even play. I don't think I popped any of my new stuff up there since last show, though. Yeah, last show I popped up the fishing game that I picked up on the Switch, the There was a bunch of stuff on there.
That feels like a spiritual successor to Sega Base Fishing on
It
Dreamcast.
really, it actually is. It actually is. And also, I tried to play it, and there's like hardly any tutorial mode, so I couldn't even figure out how to fucking cast the line in 10 minutes that I played. But yeah, I picked up some weird, cool stuff like Arcade-Ageddon and Wizard with the Gun because it sounded awesome. But yeah, and Midnight Suns I picked up because it was cheap, and I knew that Braden had praised it quite highly.
Yeah.
Right, there they go. Dead Rising 4.
Anto.
I guess, yeah, the only thing I can plug is my Instagram stuff. So Final Fantasy and Hey, it's Anto. I've been very, very lax with my social media, I guess, use and participation. I think going on with the discussion, I did upload something new, actually. Sorry. Thanks to a friend of the show, Ghost Games / Julian and Ben. I came across the Luna Edition PS4 Slim for Final Fantasy 15.
Do you like Final Fantasy?
I do like Final Fantasy, weirdly enough.
Right.
So now I just need the controller to finish this set, and then I've got like the majority of the limited edition stuff for Final Fantasy 15, which
I remember when that
I
was
may
released
start moving
new.
it on soon because 15's not super great. Sorry, Floppy.
I remember when that released new.
Yeah.
Did you say 15 was not super great?
Nah, it's really not.
That's like one of my favorite Final Fantasies that I've played.
It's a mess though. Maybe we'll do a deep dive on why I think that later.
or we could just not.
I can do it in 10 minutes.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I can. But yeah, no, so yeah, Instagram stuff, I will probably, depending on where we sort of settle with the renaming / rebranding, may come up with a new one that's more in line with the actual show and be a bit more dedicated to it from there, because I feel like my Instagram's just sort of sat stagnant for a while. So yeah.
Cool. Braden.
Howdy.
Yo. What do you want to plug?
I do another little podcast. We do Millennial Movie Talk, where we talk about movies and TV and stuff. There's a bunch going on. Michael just got back from his European vacation, which was a lot.
National Lampoon's.
Hey, look, kids, Big Ben. But lately they've been talking about The Boys.
The boys.
I can't believe people are only just now going, oh, the Homeland is bad. It's like,
Yeah,
what
it's
the hell
great.
Didn't he shoot down an airplane just cause?
Yeah,
done a lot
just
of
like
bad
Just
stuff.
Cause. But yeah, it's good fun. There's good stuff coming out at the moment. We haven't talked about it on the show yet, but I finally got around to just starting Star Wars: The Acolyte.
I think
which
I.
I'm only 2 episodes in,
I really enjoy it.
so no
Me
spoilers.
too.
please.
It is,
Fun.
But,
in
I'm
my opinion,
already very much enjoying it.
in my opinion, better than Andor.
That's a wild opinion, but
It's because Andor is so slow.
Okay. But yeah, and also the new Quiet Place movie came out apparently.
I went to start watching the first one.
The first one's good.
Yes, but I went to start watching it, and I was going, I'll watch this while I'm doing my stuff for the show, and realized I actually have to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, because
you can't listen.
There's no talking.
It's fucking silent.
Oh, you must hate that as a subtitle hater.
Yeah, like I really don't like subtitles.
And I do a little thing called Super Retro Squad, where I go out hunting for retro goodies with friend of the show, Ghost Games, and I film it while I'm doing it. And then also some of the systems that we find, we sometimes have discs in them.
What was the one that was the
Chainsaw
PS?
was a great find.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Lollipop
like an $80
Chainsaw.
game disc only.
$15 Julian paid for that PS3.
Jeez.
Like, don't get me wrong, sometimes there's
Some
nothing in them,
garbage.
and sometimes there's trash. Like, one time we found an Xbox game in a PlayStation 3, which was funny.
That's the best thing, actually. That's awesome.
Yeah, so another episode dropping tomorrow, or right now as you hear this, so head on over to Super Retro Squad on YouTube and give us a subscribe and a like and a view.
Gaze, great game.
Yeah, good times. But we've been Hack the Dino for now. This has been our gaming cast, where we bring you the past, present, and future of video games news, previews, and discussions. But remember, until next time, we may go silently into the night, but I will still find you and hunt you down like the dog you are.
Speaking of silently, I've been holding a fart. For
Oh,
ages.
don't. That's where you should have ended it, Braden. God damn it, Braden, I'm going to come. I'll fucking do it. End this stream myself! Jesus!
It's Ben's house. You can see.
Ah!